got some things to really talk about, you know what I'm saying, and really get into the airways of the melanated gods on the planet, the melanated greatness on the planet. Melanin won't save you. Yeah, let me shake up the vibration. Let me say that again. Melanin won't save you. It's not. Now, what do I mean by that? What would I ever so fathom in my mind to mean by melanin? The almighty molecular structure won't save us. No, it won't. We dealing with the classical story of the champ versus the underdog. The favorite versus the newcomer. We're dealing with the originator versus the imitator in many respects. What does this mean? Melanin won't save you. Melanin won't save you based on the fact and the premise that black folks, indigenous folks, melanated folks, kings and queens, emperor and empress, understand what I'm telling you right now. If you don't do the things to cater to your DNA, if you do not stimulate the form and fashion that entwines you into such a divine entity on the planet, what entwines you into such a divine entity on the planet, from your broad noses taking in the natural oxygen, keeping the circulation of the respiratory significantly clear and void of all the toxins that could be imposed upon your science of breath. For breathing is the flux pass or the insulator to regulate the vibration and the frequency of heart and mind. The vagus nerve is a nerve ending that connects the heart and the brain. The brain is a facilitation of the mind based on the pulsation that it rhythmically patterns to based on what the heart is doing. The heart is regulated by the pericardia, which is also significantly entwined to the way in which you breathe. When you're panting, when you're breathing, when you're hyperventilating throughout most of your life because you're stressed, because you're moved in dynamics of emotion constantly without failure, based on all the tactical efforts of this goddamn system, you are constantly in a hyperventilated state. So you're constantly out of control of your breath. And what does this mean? It may seem so insignificant when you're thinking about how Black Lives Matter, how we're getting gunned down and how we're getting mistreated and there's no justice, so we have no peace. And because you have no peace, you have no peace of self. You're losing a piece of you, not having peace of strength because you have lost sight of what your strengths are. And this is making you weak. Because now, as you deregulate your breathing pattern, right? Just for one example, how you may deregulate your breathing pattern, and now you have the harmonious nature or the harmonics, the natural harmonics of the heart, imbalance. It's imbalance with the rhythmic pattern of the universe because the heart corresponds to the sun, and the sun also corresponds to everything else that we know in our universe. You already know this. So we have a divine connection to the rhythmic circadian rhythm of planet Earth, the electromagnetic frequency that is given off by way of the way the heart is pulsating. That's just one example. How your breathing can ill affect you on a spiritual realm. Something that you're taking place on, or something that you're catering to that you have no business catering to on the physical realm, could affect you on the spiritual planes of your existence, which is your strongest spaces of existence.
In 2011, he was injected with a bacterial endotoxin in an experiment that challenged our understanding of the nervous system. In normal humans, the injection should cause a strong immune response, leading to fever, chills, and headaches, but not in Wim. It appeared that he was somehow able to suppress his immune response by making his body secrete adrenaline, suggesting that his method can allow us to influence our immune system at will. Scientists thought he might just be a freak of nature, so to further prove this theory, they performed the same experiment on 12 subjects Wim had trained in Poland, and the same thing happened.
Normally, it's very difficult to increase your adrenaline levels by your own will. Adrenaline is released by the autonomic nervous system. And autonomic means that you cannot voluntarily influence it. So if you walk outside and you are robbed on the street, you will have a heart rate of 160 and your blood pressure will be sky high within seconds. But if I ask you now to increase your heart rate, you cannot do that. You cannot voluntarily modulate that. And with the techniques of Wim Hof, we show that he was able to increase his adrenaline levels to very high concentrations, even higher than people that go bungee jumping for the first time. That was something that we didn't think possible before that.
What we are going deeply into the physiology, past the conditioning. And what appears, people begin to cry, or they release anger. Whatever is hidden deeper than the conditioning. These techniques make it quite able to go really deep.
I guess it's kind of similar to when a psychologist gets someone to relive past trauma and come to terms with it.
We do not need psychotherapy. Fuck off. Just a little bit breathing. Just bring back the control within yourself. Connect back with the body. This time we are able to cleanse it all. All the people say, yeah, you cannot steer a life, you cannot do this, and yeah, it's part of life, and it's destiny, and it is fate. Fuck fate, and fuck destiny, and all that. No, this time we learn to control our happiness, health, and strength, and that's not philosophical or sectarian. It's chemistry.
Do you ever get any?
Make a big circle. Big circle.
It may look like a Pentecostal sermon at times, but if you hyperventilate for long enough, it's normal to experience euphoria, muscle spasms, and seizures. It's more difficult to imagine how that can make it easier to stand out in the snow for an hour. Maybe, like in the immune response test, it had to do with secreting adrenaline. But whether it was some ancient secret of human physiology or simply brute force endurance and mental focus, it seemed that Wim's method was working on the group. My suspicion was that the secret was the infectious charisma of Wim himself, and just being in his presence was inspiring us to accomplish things we never would have normally done.
You're getting into some pretty deep places with your mind, and although it sounds kind of out there, I mean, when you experience it, I can't even, it's scary / amazing at the same time.
I don't know where, but I was gone, and I saw things, and I didn't even notice that I was screaming and making noises. It was really amazing.
It's just something we don't know we can do. In the east part of the world, it's in the culture to teach people how to do it. In the western part of the world, it's not a culture.
Enlightenment is a form of happiness and health, and it's not as deep and profound as people imagine.
4, 3, 2, there you go. 1. There we go. All in. And let him go.
I'm going.
Why is that example even important, and how does it relate to your melanin not being able to save you? You cannot find so much safe zone, so much comfort within the greatness that you've once attributed to your inequity of what our ancestors have done and how our ancestors had grind. Listen, we could sit here and say, oh, it's all good, Malcolm did that. Oh yeah, it's all good, Garvey did that. Oh, Harriet, that's the homegirl, she did great things. They did great things when they were in their physical personification of their spirituality. They did their chanting, and then they did their communications with one another. Garvey moved out to the whole fucking world. He brought the world together, what you call the RBG. You dig what I'm saying? To represent the land, the blood, and the blackness of divinity. You understand what I'm saying? They did their thing on the physical realm, and they cultivated what they needed to cultivate in a physical essence to transcend the spiritual layers of what they knew in a subconscious embodiment, even though it was trying to be stripped away from them. When they was on the plantation, they spoke a different language, but it was the same language. You look at Patois, Yazimi from Jamaica. You understand? Can speak a whole different kind of dialect, and it seemed like me I speak a whole different kind of language. But if you just listen to what me I say, you see me I say the same thing them I say. Same thing them white boy I say, me I say the same thing. But you know what? We switch up the frequency or the charge, the vibratory vibration. At one point, women could speak such an existence to these slave masters. That's why they had to put muzzles over their mouth. Of course, it was a traumatic tactic as well, because it touched on both psychomatic frequency, both the physical to keep them muzzled, and all the debaucherous things that would perpetuate based on that application on the physical. But spiritually, the vibration, the frequency that was emitted by the black woman's chant would literally have some of these slave masters wigging the fuck out. Some of these Europeans would literally like keel over. Their heart palpitations would become irregular. So now they will find themselves like in a high state of discomfort based on the music. You ever hear Mariah Carey hit a note, or a vocalist hit a note? I can't do that shit. I can do it, but I haven't practiced my vocal cords in this lifetime. That's not what I'm here for. You dig what I'm saying? That's not my design. I twine through this copper and this electromagnetic frequency. This is what I do in this lifetime. You dig what I'm saying? Because Libra is corresponding to copper, and copper is a good insulator of electromagnetic frequency as well. You look at it as an insulator in all the different technological advances that we have today, as well as crystals. So a lot of people that's telling you that crystals have no significance to your actual auric field as a human being, that's a very much so a lie, because every single crystal has a specific vibration. This is called hematite. This is magnetic allure. You can literally see it right in front of your eyes. That magnetic allure, although it's deceptive to the eyes and how we've been taught to look on the physical plane of existence, we have been extrapolated from what you would call quantum mechanics or quantum physics on a scientific scale, because scientifically this is how we explain what is taking place on an etheric level, on a spiritual level. But it's all entwined into the physical and the spiritual together. They're not separate. But you don't know this. You're not applying this into your life. You're not eating the right type of food. You're not looking at your world in a synergistic manner that's going to allow that very melanin to be as great as it can be. So if the fact that you sitting back saying, oh, I got melanin and my ancestors did this, that, and that in antiquity, and I no longer have to do what I have to do here, I could just jallavant and move off the whim of my emotions and everything is going to be all dandy, it's false. We have too much confidence within this shit right now, because as it relates to right now, if you haven't fucking noticed, Europeans is starting to fucking catch up to what black people are doing. They starting to hold a beat a little bit better, to where now you think it's something naturally going on. No, they're just naturally taking all the shit from you, as parasites do, because parasites hone in on a host, suck that host dry like energy vampires, and moves on to the next. This is what parasites do. And their biological inference is based around white blood cell and yeast, bacteria, and fungus, and all these other things. And we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on the differences as well. This integration shit is killing us. Promise you. And even if it wasn't, the fact that you feel, it's not even integration that may be the bad thing. And I'm not making a safety net for integration, because that is an issue. But it's not even that more per se, that we can't be around them and be just fine. It's more so the fact that we can't be around them without being influenced in the mind to be led astray to these facades, these facilitations of broken mentality, to feel that you're not different from them. If I have a cat and dog right now in my house, and I have the dog eat dog food and the cat eat cat food, do you see them fighting like cat dog? Do you see them squabbling over each other's plate? The dog wants the cat food and the cat wants the dog food? No. Their DNA resonates to what the fuck they need, and they move in accordance to that. Sometimes they may bicker and fight, but That's what they do. They're left to their own vices. Whereas this European has so convoluted your mind to where you think that y'all are all utopian kumbaya and y'all need the same shit when you really don't. You need sunlight to get your vitamin D. They need synthetic form because they get skin cancer from the sunlight. This is a fact. You can sit in the sun for 8 hours at minimum because that's what you're supposed to have with the UVB radiation and all the other things.
Abnormal growths of melanocytes, called malignant melanomas, are the most aggressive form of skin cancer. Melanomas can spread quickly to other parts of the body and to organs. This type of skin cancer can be fatal if not detected and treated early. People with fair skin are at increased risk for developing this form of cancer. People with fair skin are at increased risk for developing this form of cancer. People with fair skin are at increased risk for developing this form of cancer. Increased sun exposure and a history of sunburns increase the risk for developing skin cancer.
Not going to go too deep into that, but you get where I'm going. Come on. You're different. So all around my point is, the electromagnetic frequency that is vibrated through your DNA has to be tapped in on a genetic level. If you're not a vegan, Black lives don't matter to you. Because that means that you don't care enough about keeping yourself on a divine scale to tap into all these different layers of astral projection and chakra balance and all these kundalini spiraling serpent spine. Listen, when you talk about the kundalini rising, you have to have good posture. Half of the black people I come across have horrible posture. We slouch a lot. Bad posture is linked to insanity. You ain't know that? The neurological impulses that have to move up the spine through synaptic activity have to be able to correlate to the brain. I'm only like this right now because I'm trying to, compensate for how my camera is. I got to deal with what I got. I don't got no tripod and all this extra shit. I'm innovating right now. So that's the only reason why I'm trying to meet y'all eye to eye. But your posture should always be at an upright position so that energy could circle throughout your body properly. This is what you call your chakra alignment. Sorry. Yeah, so peace. My apologies, my phone got cut off earlier. But just to close out that message and bring it all the way home so that the idea isn't misconveyed and you understand the full context of what I was disseminating earlier, which was base and due to understanding and understanding as well as overstanding. Triple layers of your entwinement into the experience that you're having now in this physical form. As you are a spiritual being yet to tap into a divine process and process the divinity in your physical. These are the lessons that you learn. The things that you attribute to your higher realms of thinking. Your subconscious is taking in things sigillistically, consciously. Everything is enveloped into your experience right about now. So the point that I was bringing home as it relates to talking about posture, for one, if you're talking about aligning your chakras, you're talking about elevating yourself on a pendulum of how you're able to sway your energies to your liking, to your need, to your desire, whatever it is you're trying to cultivate within self. If you're not taking care of things on a physical realm and you think it's just going to automatically happen for you just because you think about meditations or you think about chakras or you think about crystals, no, your body and your biology has to vibe to the frequency in that stimulus of growth. They have to run synonymous. They can't be severed. You can't just negate what's going on physically and tap into everything etherically. It won't work like that. But then again, I won't make it so definitive. I'll be open to the concessions of other beings that learn and develop in different types of ways. So through my own spirituality, because I know better, I won't limit or suppress your ability to express your experience through your light and your lens. So I take that back as it relates to how I worded it. I take it back as it relates to how I worded that statement. I won't say you can't do anything, but what I would more so convey is based on the levels of ascension that I've taken upon myself. Don't watch the facade. Don't watch this physical. See, this physical is only this is plaything. The crystals, the energy is plaything. I've already transcended all of this. Listen to the soul, because we're back. Feel my heart, because we're back. Vibe to the soul and the frequency that you sense through this lens that you're looking at right now. The perceived nature of physicality. Don't make that be the trauma of what you're able to absorb through the message that is being disseminated. And if it's for you, you're going to get it. If it's not, then maybe later. Because if you were already past it, you would have already understood it or understood it, or maybe even overstood it at that point if you've already transcended by way of where I'm at and where I'm resonating from and sharing to you right now. So if you don't fully understand it, then that means you haven't yet got here. And I understand that, and I resonate to that, and I love that, because I love you and I respect where you're at. But what I'm telling y'all is, if you want to tap into higher senses of yourself, you want to tap into this etheric realm, you want to know how to utilize the tools in which our ancestors utilized, from an ancient Kemetic to the Dogons to the things of that nature. The Dogons ate a certain type of food because they were in a certain type of environment. This is how they knew about the Sirius stars constellations. This is how they're able to tap into higher etheric levels of information. This is how we're able to tap in, because we're in a whole different physical paradigm. It mattered. So you have to understand that it also matters as well for you to take care of the things that you take care of in the physical realm, so you can tap into your spiritual strengths. What are those things? I'm not just here to point out issues. What are those things? Food. When I say vegan, I don't necessarily mean vegan as far as the Eurocentric concept of veganism, but more so that is a foundational plate for any indigenous person to at least take on as a lifestyle as it relates to greens and fruits. I'm more so advocating optimal health. Optimal health. Care about your health. Doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you are at your best in the physical form. This is how we empower ourselves. This is our strength. And doing that is going to make you a best in your physical, and then make you best in your spiritual, and not best in comparison as if the shit is a competition, but best as in you becoming the best version of yourself. What is the purpose of life but to progress and to groom higher senses of growth within yourself? So this is what the indigenous man and woman have to understand about themselves, and don't get too caught up in the concept of melanin or the concept of your past greatness, to where you're not doing the things that you need to do for here and now to stay relevant, to stay great. You won a couple of fights in your boxing match. I was about to make an analogy, but I'll make a better one. You look at Floyd Mayweather, for instance. He may showboat. He knows he's the champ. He knows he has the conviction and the confidence behind his physical ability. But he maintains that by way of working hard work and dedication. He doesn't just say, okay, I'm the champ, or who I'm, and talk his talk to his opponents, to his competitors, the people who are watching his throne and just want his spot so bad. He knows people wants his spot. He knows people wants to be where he's at. Money-wise, success-wise, the peak of your ability and your professionalism as it relates to the sport that you're invested into. You've invested your time and your dedication into. He knows that people are looking to take his number one spot. But how would he look to then talk his talk and then sit back and not care enough to actually hone his skills, keep his skills sharp? If you don't get there by relaxing, then why are you relaxing when you're there? Our ancestors don't work hard. They didn't go through the Garveys, the Malcolms. They didn't die for you to chill the fuck out. Cress Welsing didn't go hard to teach you about the things that she taught you about. Frances Cress Welsing with the ISIS papers she just passed on a couple weeks ago. She didn't do what she did for you to then say, oh, that's true. We are fucking great. They are a little bit scared. That's cool. Nah. It's great for you to know that, to empower you to keep working and keep that melanin strong. I'm vegan all the way. I don't make any concessions to the shit. People may say, oh, you're strict. You're 24 years young. Why you just... Because I know it's going to make a difference. I know it has a reason. There's a reason for me to be eating a certain type of way. People could be spitting knowledge every day, every 2 seconds. but yet it's still smoking a cigarette. I don't get that shit. You could be here kicking me facts about McDonald's and why the shit is bad, but you eating a cheeseburger. I don't get that shit. If you know the shit, apply it. Or I got this melanin, so it doesn't really matter. I could detox it. Or I have a detox regimen, so I can still do the shit that I know is not good anyway. That's not the point. And this is why we had schools of thought in ancient antiquity as well. They didn't just teach the shit to just anybody because they know how it could be used for good or bad. People now know that they could detox. People now know that they could cure themselves from cancer. So what they're going to do is not care about life and say, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to keep myself up to par. Don't make that your victim. Don't fall victim to that kind of mentality is what I'm trying to tell you. Your melanin is great. Your divinity is there. We are truly divine beings. Yes, we are gods and goddesses on this planet. Yes, we have dominion. Yes. But doesn't mean that we're not supposed to work hard. Doesn't mean we're not supposed to stay on top of our shit. Because like I said, if you're not paying attention, white women stepping it up. Asian women starting to step it up with the curves in it. Yo, shit is crazy. And I'm not saying that through enticement. I'm just saying, yo, shit is, white boys is jumping from foul lines now. Yeah, they bop into a rhythm and a beat. I'll show you some examples.
My name is Jordan Klugan. I'm a 6'1" professional dunker, and for the email newsletter I'll be sending you never before seen dunks, as well as some of my advice about improving your jumping and dunking skills. I'll be sending.
I hear you beat them up, but I'm the like to keep the leads. No, it's true the type that like to keep them on the leash. I'm known for back alone, but I'm alone for a reason. Sending me a trick ain't a reason. Believe me, come harder. This won't be easy. Don't doubt yourself. Trust me, you need me. This ain't no shoulder with a chip or a heat. But what you think they are mad at you? You need a real woman in your life. Taking care of the still right.
Every beat that is given to me, I'll slip on like an acrobat. Cause I'm mad when I'm told that a whack-ass rapper stacking a dough when it's Cadillac is passing my road. I'll smash the glass with a hatchet to hold you. Can asthma attack when you jacking my flow. This black on black so fashionable. Every rapper's crack, I laugh it alone. I'm tired of this kid, he's just being a bars. He can just rap fast. Yo, who were you kidding up? You
Welcome back to Blood Flood, New York, you know. Don't be talking away there. Welcome back to New York. Pinky, but they take off your shoes and I white girl share right now, you know. But don't want to turn Twins Me TV and a white girl and share them down, I swear to God, Pinky. Call on the blood clot white girl now. I'm gonna put on the tune now. Send it up in your own. Call on the blood clot white girl. Send it up in your own. Send it up in your own. I don't want to see some wicked actor. I don't want to see the regular actor. Send it up in your own. I don't want to see the
you for a shilling. Them love to see blood spilling. No police nearly kill him. Them a interrogate and a grill him. No bail, the lawyer start bill him. That's what you get when you're sinning. Son, well, let me tell you about sin. The devil is a liar and the devil him a grin. In a 3-piece suit and as one like him a king. And them girl them thick like full cream clim in a tin. Very sweet and enticing. Sex a debate fi keep man biting. Cocaine and the drugs fi keep man piping. Them vibes been a liking. Get a you there.
I'm interested in saying that love conquers all. And in the end, we are all human. And love's what matters.
I love how you make this seem like it's one way. You know you were all about this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. It's okay. He loves it. It's fine. We all know. The chocolate is good.
Come on, yo. Catch up.